All right, guys. Thanks for your willingness to answer these very deep questions. So the first question is, how do you think that the universe began, or what's the origin of all things?
Do you want to take it or me first?
I think it's like random chance, and I don't know, it must have started from like some sort of like, I don't know about the Big Bang or whatever, but I don't know, it was just like random. I think it was random. I don't think anyone put us here for a reason, anything like that.
So we're here by chance.
That's what I reckon.
Yeah, I'm not much of a religious man myself personally, so I'm more so towards the sort of science explanation behind it, Big Bang and that sort of thing. I think it would have been some sort of original force which just created something that just expanded and got bigger and bigger, and
like maybe like some like collision in space, and then like that gives like energy for, like, say two things crash together, energy makes like, I don't know, life.
That's it, right? Yeah.
It sounds like magic.
Yeah. Wait, it is. It would be.
Nah. It sounds like science. Like, two things crash together, they're gonna make like energy. Like, that's gonna be energy released into space or whatever. So energy could create like life and like maybe something like that.
How would energy create life?
I think myself, energy would create like maybe like a smaller form of life that
Not
would
like,
then just like grow into like more and more and develop and adapt and
Totally by chaos.
yeah. 100%. Like, it is science, but it's just crazy science. That's like
like,
to like an average brain unimaginable.
I reckon it's pretty like random. Like, obviously, to our knowledge, we haven't found anyone else yet or any other like life forms. So it's probably, but like, beg your pardon, like space is pretty, what do you call it?
Big.
Expansive. Yeah. So I think like there probably is other life, but like we'll probably never reach it because we're too far away. And
Definitely not in our lifetime.
I reckon it's also like very, very unlikely.
That there's some other life source out there.
Yeah. No, very unlikely that we were like
Ever.
that we happen like.
Like the chance of it was very, very. Oh yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Ryan?
What was the question?
What is the origin of everything?
What's the origin of everything?
Oh yeah. Personally, I don't know. But also, I don't feel like it's like I feel worry about it too much. Like, I'd rather just be in the moment than like be worried about what's happening or like
I agree 100%.
Yeah. I guess it's like sort of a bit like, what is it, naive, just like not worry about it.
Yeah.
So ostrich in the sand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I hear my mates, so I'm just gonna enjoy life as it is,
Yeah.
Let's say.
Just having a burger on a Sunday.
Yeah. Doesn't get much better.
I could ask some follow-ups like, where did those two things that collided come from?
Yeah.
Or why is there
that's
something
true.
rather than nothing? How would you answer that?
I don't
You
know.
were telling me the other day about that, eh?
What's it?
About like the two things. Menu.
What's that?
I swear you were talking about it the other day. Maybe not.
That might have been someone else. I don't know.
I think probably a bit over all of our heads.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Is
Just
like
don't learn about it in accounting.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, like, it's just with anything, nobody has like a good reason for like, oh, there was nothing and then there was something.
Fake.
Well,
Fake.
yeah, I mean, the majority of mankind to this day believes God did it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But where did God come from? Like, that's just, you could just say that. It's like, where did God come from? Where did like the two things that collided come from? Like,
So they're equally taken on faith.
I
Yeah,
guess,
a wee bit, yeah,
I
I'd
guess
say.
like faith in something, yeah. Well, I don't really. I
not
don't
faith,
have
fate.
faith that like. Yeah, fate. Fate is better. Like, it just happened. It's just random. That's
Is
I
it
don't know.
persistent?
I don't know.
Is this possible? I mean, have you considered God created the world to run on with certain laws, and that's why we see the law of gravity. We see the law of. In chemistry, there's all sorts of laws.
Yeah, I don't think God made them.
I can definitely understand, and like the thing about religion is that a lot of people have religion as like an answer, and the whole reason why people, or like some people, are very into religion is because they find it the most like explainable way for things like how everything was created, and so like there's definitely nothing to take away from anybody for that, but I think as you could say, like God could like create these laws and stuff, but at the same time it could be just like how science works, like chemical reactions, compound makeups, that sort of stuff.
Except that every law we know in the human realm has a lawgiver.
Yeah, like
someone that establishes the rules.
Yeah, so I reckon all those things were just like gravity, all these things, like energy can't be created and destroyed, all that stuff is like, that just already is, and then somebody like comes up with a theory or like a way to like define that law, and then that becomes a law, but it already existed. It's not like, I don't know.
Let's go to the next set of questions, which is more about ethics.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you say there's so much suffering? Assuming you would agree there's lots of suffering in the world.
Yeah,
what's the reason for that?
Well, there's also like, I wouldn't say there's just, like, I would say there's more joy than suffering in the world. But do you want to wait for that to go over?
It's alright.
Yeah, I would say that I think it's just like human nature, like people aren't always thinking about other people.
Yeah, oh definitely. There'd
Like,
be a lot of selfishness.
Human nature is like, there's definitely like an element of empathy and like, what would, unselfishness.
Selfless.
But, yeah, selflessness, but I'd say like a lot of, there's definitely like a big portion of most people that is like reasonably selfish. Or
Yeah, there's definitely very
uninterested in like I would care, I'd care more about like my mates than like someone that I don't know completely.
yeah.
Say like that for some reason like that. I don't know.
I think there's a lot of fortunate people in the world, and there's a lot of unfortunate people in the world who are put in like situations completely out of their control, which just immediately disadvantages them. And like he was saying, there's a lot of selfishness from, say, the more fortunate people, which is seen to like hold the less fortunate people back. But there is also a lot of selflessness, like charities and fundraisers, and there is a lot of like support that goes to those people in an attempt to make it less suffering.
Yeah. What do you mean as like an example of suffering? Say like hunger or something, like world hunger or something.
Child abuse.
Yeah.
War. Greed.
Yeah.
Greed is effectively like selfishness.
Yeah, war comes from greed, I reckon. Like people wanting more than like what's fair, or then they could, then like people wanting more than what they could be happy with. Do you?
There's a lot of gluttony, like people can have, or like are sufficient with what they have, but they want more, and that's sort of where the greed comes from.
Yeah.
And
I reckon that's like human nature though.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's definitely.
I reckon that's not even just human, like that's nature. Like you want to like
be bigger and better.
Yeah,
keep
better,
growing.
and because that's how like you survive, like especially before like say humans were all around or whatever. That's more like how you'd survive, wouldn't it? You'd be like, if say you were like the beta like caveman, the woman wouldn't want to get with you, and then you'd have to like then your line ends there.
Yeah.
So like
you always want to be more dominant than other people. Yeah.
So it's actually good that we're selfish because it's a survival mechanism.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying that
it's good to want to grow and be better, but there's also the other side of it where it's like people are then, less off because of it,
like
and that's
why should we care?
Well, that's the selfishness aspect of our mind, We shouldn't necessarily care, but we do because of empathy and sympathy.
Why is there empathy at all?
Because people don't necessarily want to be the reason that others are less fortunate, and they don't want people to feel.
Why do people care about other people when under survival of the fittest, they shouldn't care at all.
No, you need other people to do. Like, it's just happening. It's like you get joy out of it.
Maybe you're a small tribe, but not a kid dying from hunger all the way around the world in Africa.
Yeah. Well, I guess
Maybe like equality and fairness.
Yeah.
I'd say for me, like I know the whole question is like why do we care, but I'd say there's like everybody has like a side of them which is like guilt.
And my question
Guilty.
is, what's this? Why do we have that?
brain
let's-
neurons.
Let's move on. How do we fix the human nature problem? I mean, should we try? Should we
I feel
like you can't. There's just, like too many people in the world to even like worry about it, you know. Like,
yeah.
Don't even try.
like or like
I feel
I'm a
like
bit cynical.
I feel like most people as well, like there's a small percentage of those people, and their presence gets like
Magnified.
magnified, expelled more because like say the real successful, like there's people in the world that could afford to like maybe fix world hunger or something like that, but that's not like I'm not sure what I'm trying to say.
Those people aren't interested. A few are.
Yeah,
in saving the world. Or
I feel like they didn't get. This is sort of changing what I was gonna say, but like they didn't get that rich or that successful. They got that rich or successful by being like
Selfish.
that and
Yeah,
selfish.
definitely.
So the people that have the money, and maybe sometimes the people that have the power, don't have the best interest of like the. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not.
So wait,
I feel like we're not concluding on
That kind of
Rambling.
open
Yeah, very
All right.
So-
Well, yeah. Let's go to the next question, which is, how do we fix human nature?
Fix in the sense of
Well, can we? Well, I guess that's kind of what I asked before. Is can we do anything? You know, what can we do to solve the problems in the world ultimately?
probably try and find like, well, it depends, you know, like I definitely think that you need to have like leaders and people that you look up to and follow and, you know, aspire to be, but you know, you could say you could work towards finding a better median of like equality, you know, like bringing everybody to a more fortunate and fair situation where, say for example, like if you think about somebody was like really smart and like really strong leadership skills, but because of like where they've been brought up or like, you know, whatever experiences they've gone through, it like silences them or like muffles them and makes them less capable of actually being able to continue to help people grow at like a faster, more efficient
So level the
speed.
playing field.
Yeah, maybe. But like at the same time, you still, like I said, you need those people who are like higher up so that you can be like everybody working to be like that. Because if everybody's the same, then you've got nobody trying to be better or do bigger things and stuff. So you need that, but
You kind of like need to be selfish at some points, you know. You can't like spend all your time like worrying about everyone around you and whatnot, you know.
That's true. There's a place for it, and I reckon, like obviously, if we knew how to fix all the world's problems, if anyone knew how to do it, they probably would have done it.
True.
Yeah.
Although, like, you could have an idea but not have like the means to do it.
Yeah.
But I reckon, like,
Probably gotta think
I think everybody, like, you'd need more people in the world to like say care about it than do.
yeah, you need to start on a small scale
Like-
and build a.
yeah,
And
something
you can care about, like, I can say I care about world hunger, but I've never done anything. Oh, I've
40-hour hungers.
yeah,
famine
yeah.
and
I've
stuff.
done
40
like some of those things and like sent like Christmas boxes to Africa and stuff like that. But like, I haven't really made I haven't made a significant impact. I don't know if you guys have either, but you might have. But.
Nah, like I'm pretty similar. Only like donations and stuff like that. But I feel as though it's probably like I don't know me myself right now what I would be able to do to make a significant impact with like
Yeah.
where I am financially, physically,
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
You need like a lot of people
status-wise and
on
stuff.
board
Yeah,
that, because like it's not like those big rich people aren't going to do anything about it probably.
as long as they're
So
making
you need like all of the like what would you call it?
Grassroots.
Yeah, grassroots up, something like that. I'm not.
Okay, maybe
I
you
think-
can be our leader. Lead a grassroots movement
I don't see. That's the thing is
to
I
make the
don't-
world a better place.
Yeah, and
Well-
I think we need like more. Yeah, what is it like the 3 E's of sustainability, like environment, economics, and equity. That's sort of what you need for like peace.
Okay.
I like
I've never heard that. Environment,
It's the 3 pillars
economics,
and equity, like being equal. That's like the 3 E's of sustainability. If you look it up, it's like
I mean equality or equity?
equity.
Oh, yeah.
It's like equality, basically.
Okay.
It is equity.
Sounds ambitious.
It's like the
project.
3 pillars. Yeah. So like, I don't know. I just don't really see it happening. Like,
It's not
I
like
don't-
it's something that can happen over like a short period of time. If you wanted to like see any sort of impact or any sort of change done, it would be over like a mass time space.
Yeah.
Like, it would be years, decades,
I
maybe
reckon-
even centuries until you started to see like positive.
yeah, and I don't think
Strong.
I don't think we have thousands of years left like human life. I reckon we'll come and go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like the thing is that like a lot of people just care about like their generation and then maybe the generation of their kids, you know. But if they
Yeah.
want, if you want to see like significant change, you have to think of like 10, 20 generations in the future.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
nobody right now sort of thinks that long term. If you know what I mean?
All right. Well, let's talk about the future. What ultimately is going to happen to the human race?
Yeah, that's like what I was saying just then is I think it's pretty inevitable that we don't really last. Like I wouldn't give us more than 10,000 years. And that's probably being like generous.
Yeah, it's
I get that a lot.
Yeah.
it's pretty tricky, eh? Like, cause I don't know, like humans have been developing and expanding at such a fast rate, and I think we'll continue to do so like that for quite a while, and it just gets to the point where it's used for the wrong thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like people abuse the sort of power and technology that we have, and it could either go like one of two ways if that happened. Like it would either create like some huge drama and, you know, another world war that could like make humanity extinct, or it can sort of be like a lesson. Every loss is a lesson, you know?
Yeah. I reckon
And they learn from it and keep building. But I
reckon-
think if humans were like smart and safe with the resources and stuff that we have, then, you know, we got something going for us.
yeah, like
doing alright.
we can turn around like all the environmental problems, but I don't really see it happening. So like, I reckon we'll slowly, the Earth's slowly going to become like maybe a bit harsher to live on. I don't know. Actually, I haven't thought about this enough. I'm just speaking it before I say it, so I don't really know if I want to say that. But
What's your opinion?
Do you have an opinion about that?
I think we should have wondered what the future's going to be like.
Yeah. Or what ultimately will happen to humanity?
Yeah. I don't think it's too good, to be honest. But I feel like there's probably like there's definitely not hope, but like I guess it's probably like we should still try, you know? Like
Yeah, I feel like there is hope if we all try.
yeah. And I'm like that we're like way too calm at the moment.
Yeah.
Like
I also reckon the people that actually have to change are like the people that are causing it.
yeah.
Like one person's like waste or like footprint on the earth, and like their whole life would be minuscule. Like I'll try and do like little bits to help and stuff.
That'd be nice.
But like it's minuscule compared to like some big Amazon factory or like
definitely.
or some, I don't know. The people that would have to change is like the people that are causing all the emissions right now. I think like China and India have. Is it China and India? China got, with the Paris Agreement, they were allowed to emit more because they were behind America in the like Industrial Revolution. So right now they're still allowed to emit more, which is sort of fair because it would be unfair to say, oh, like we've done all this, say America has done like all the emissions, now we're stopping, and now China you can't just because you're late to the game. But like I'm pretty sure Oh, actually, I don't know the facts, so I can't really. I'm pretty sure China is the most emitting country in the world.
Yeah, well, it's
I don't know
struggles a lot
that
with
actually.
pollution and
Yeah,
that sort of stuff, so
yeah, I don't know that. I
I
that.
couldn't
So
say yes or no, but
yeah,
So let me ask you a more personal question. What will happen to you or us after we die?
in terms of
Is there any life after death?
oh, okay, so you're
Is
talking
there
about
any sort of what's going to happen?
I don't think there is.
It's a hard concept to like
Yeah.
think. Like the thought of death for a lot of people is nothingness, and that's just something that a lot of people can't grasp. Is to like not even have a thought, not even have like a memory, anything like that. Even just like thinking in the current time, like there wouldn't be anything like that, just nothing at all. So for me, I find like just like a lot of people, that is quite a hard concept to grasp. But I don't know what if there were to be like an afterlife or reincarnation. I don't know what if any of that would be what I think would be the most logical or like realistic one. So
not sure.
yeah, I'd be on the fence. I would be able to say yeah.
I guess I was like raised religious my whole life, but like I never really like believed it at all. I don't know why. Like it's like to me it seems like too good, you know. Like I don't know. I just feel like I just gonna die and it's gonna be nothing. But I'm like sort of okay with it, you know.
Yeah,
like,
so,
I don't feel like it's anything to like worry about, you know. It's like it's good.
Yeah.
So what was your background growing up?
Just like Catholic. Yeah.
Catholic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
like to me, like when you die, like whatever your last meal, that energy gets used up. Your electrons in your brain stop spinning around, and then that's it. Like, but it's chill. Like that's fine.
Yeah.
You've had a good that's why you make the most of like your life.
Yeah.
That's why I also don't want to be too like critical. I don't like that some people, if it makes people happy to like, actually no.
I mean,
No.
is there any kind of judgment whether we've lived a good life or a bad life?
By other people.
Yeah, by someone, God, or a court, or
No. I reckon, no, I don't think so.
I think you could, but like, it's in my head it would be to like the general population, like deciding if you did positive changes like to the world and to the planet and to progress to fixing like whatever sort of issues there may be. You know, like you can be seen as like a positive public figure, or you could also be seen as like a negative public figure if you were, just did,
or
like,
it could
horrible
change over
crimes.
time. Like in the U.S., Abraham Lincoln was a saint
Yeah,
for
yeah.
decades, and
Yeah.
now under Black Lives Matter, he's
Yeah,
kind of a
exactly.
villain, even though.
Well, 100%. And
So it just kind of depends.
yeah.
who's-
Oh,
So it's
what
kind
the
of
times are, eh?
Yeah, yeah.
So like what you leave behind is sort of
Like the memories.
the
of
memory and the
yeah,
stuff that you did.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like maybe that could be sort of like not the afterlife, but like it's just what you leave at this in the planet kind of thing, It's like whatever you've done to change for good or bad.
So, at the end of it all, what's the point? Why are we here? What's the purpose?
You can like you as a person, you can still have fun and enjoy yourself and experience amazing things, and get dopamine, adrenaline, all those sort of like natural drugs and highs.
Yeah,
And-
I don't really mean a personal purpose. I mean an overarching purpose. Is there an overarching kind of purpose of the universe?
I feel like it's just to socialise, for me at least. I see it just to like network, make friends, like
Community.
community, yeah.
And relationship.
Yeah, and relationships and like building that. For me, that's probably like the most important thing in life.
With other beings that are going into oblivion the same as you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going
Well-
back to question, because
Yeah.
and remember at the beginning you said everything's an accident. It came from chaos.
I think that there's no. That's what I'm saying. Like I think it came from randomly. I don't think there's like a purpose. It's just nature. Like we're just here because we got put here.
Yeah, I'd
but
say-
while we're here,
Yeah, exactly.
Like, we've been
I think
given
there's personal like
yeah, I have
reasons,
personal like
points and like yeah.
like that. That's what I love doing. Meeting new people,
Yeah.
But
Like
in terms of
having
a whole,
good time, sharing good times with my friends, that's what I like doing, and that's what I'm doing with my life, like maximizing fun and like happiness basically. And like that's what I'm doing with my life, but I don't think that's why I was put here. Like I don't think I was put here for a reason.
yeah, definitely. I think there's like personal like reasons to like, you know, be doing whatever you're doing, but in terms of like you say, like an overall arc or anything like that, I don't think
Yeah,
I don't think there is.
you
But
can
there's
live
people who like get a lot of enjoyment and stuff from doing better things and like helping like the world on a global scale and stuff like that, which is hence why they do it. People who enjoy socializing a lot, like Ryan, which is why he does it. You know,
Let's just hang out.
it's just
Yeah.
like
Hang
I
out.
think people individually continue and keep going on with their life because it's what like they're aiming for their own enjoyment and happiness and like
the
you know.
happiness of like their friends and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, and like trying to like help others around you. If say there was something.
Yeah,
you wanted to do.
like
Yeah, definitely.
it's
There's no like natural instincts. It's like, you know, like have a kid. You know, like
yeah,
Yeah.
stuff like that, like
Keep-
reproduce and stuff.
fun.
like it might be.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Can I share another point of view just to give
Yeah,
you guys
100%.
some
Yeah,
I'd love to
yeah.
hear what you think.
Yeah. So I'd like to, just take a stab at those same questions. So I am a Christian. So I think that, and I haven't always been a Christian.
Yeah.
But I do think that the Christian worldview gives the best answers overall, and kind of answers relationship. It answers that question very well. It talks about the environment, talks about the future, talks about the past. So that's what I want to share briefly with you guys.
Go for it.
Yeah, go
So,
for it. I'm interested.
so the first question I asked you is, where did things come from? And you know, the Bible says that in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth,
Yeah.
and He made, He made the land and the sea, the stars, the sun, the moon. He made the birds, the sea life, land animals, and finally us. And so we have a unique place in the creation, in that we're the only creatures made in His image, and we have certain things that the animal kingdom doesn't have, like morality, ethics, the ability to rule or govern as stewards. So that would be the origin of environmental science. You know, that's why we care. Altruism, we talked about that. Altruism, those seagulls don't practice altruism,
No.
but we do. Not always, but the miracle is we sometimes do. So that's outside of Darwinism, really, the survival of the fittest. And so we have courts of law. I'm a
Yeah.
lawyer. We
Yeah.
have courts of law. They don't have courts of law.
No.
So we have this sense of justice, this sense of fairness and equity that makes us unique. And the Bible says that comes because we're made in God's image. We're actually meant to be stewards and God's representatives, His co-rulers, if you will, over planet Earth. But one of the gifts He gave us was free will, moral responsibility.
Yeah.
And He didn't want robots or machines. He wanted us to be true decision makers. And so He put the first man and woman in a garden and said, I want you to have babies, spread out over the earth, make this wilderness into a garden, care for the plants and animals. He told Adam to name the animals, which is a symbolic in the Bible of rulership.
Yeah.
And when someone came to New Zealand, they named it New Zealand, or Aotearoa. That comes from human beings giving it a name. And so basically, with that free will, the first man and woman, according to the Bible, our great-great-great-great-grandparents chose to rebel against God's command, don't eat from the tree. And they did. And when they did that, the universe fundamentally changed. It went from being innocent and pure and perfectly good to a fallen world. Not all bad, not all evil, but fallen in every aspect, especially on the inside. And so from that we gained a sin nature, a selfish nature. So sin and death became a barrier between us and God. Because God is holy, He cannot have anything to do with sin. All right? And so that's when death began.
Yeah.
And so the whole Old Testament is a foreshadowing, a picture, a prophecy really of a Messiah who's going to come and rescue humanity from that problem of sin and death and reconcile the relationship between God and man. And you were talking about relationship. The Trinity, the biblical view of God, is not a solitary God, lonely, and needs the universe to fulfill himself. No, inside the Trinity, there's Father, Son, and Spirit, and they have a love relationship within themselves. So your instinct of going to relationship as being the core of who we are is exactly right, because God himself interrelates with himself, inside himself, and he overflows in that relationship to us. That's why he created us, according to the Bible. So the Messiah came, and the Messiah he came from Israel. He was supposed to be the prophet, priest, and king. There were predictions that he was going to rule and reign over the earth, but there was also predictions that he was going to suffer and die for the sins of the people. And so when Jesus came 2,000 years ago, he fulfilled many of those prophecies, not all, because the Bible says he's going to come again. But he fulfilled prophecies in that he was born in Bethlehem. He was Jewish. He was from the line of David. He did miracles. He made the blind to see. He cleansed lepers. He cast out demons. He raised the dead. And he did it so many times that the Jewish leaders didn't know what to do with it, until finally they put him to death with the help of the Romans. And when he was on the cross outside of Jerusalem in 33 AD, some say 30 AD, but around 30 to 33 AD, God was using that moment in time to put all of our sin upon Jesus so that he could take the penalty onto himself and pay it in full, so that we could be released from the guilt and the list of the indictment against us, all our sin, all of our selfishness, all of our pornography, all of our lying and cheating and stealing, all of that sin, Jesus took it on himself, paid it in full, and then 3 days later rose from the dead, proving his victory over sin and death. So he defeated sin at the cross, and he defeated death with the empty tomb. And so then he appeared to the 12 apostles and many others, and then went to be with the Father where he is now. And so he told the apostles, go spread the good news so that everyone who believes in me and what I've done can have eternal life and total forgiveness for sin. And so that's where, from a Christian viewpoint, you guys come in. That's the choice that you have to make. All the other religions of the world say it's up to us to try. And even humanism or atheism has the sort of do good works for humanity instinct. But what makes that similar to religion is that it's all up to us. But in Christianity, it's just the opposite. It's all up to God. It's all up to his Son. And through simple faith in him, we get the free gift of forgiveness and eternal life. So one of the famous verses in the Bible is John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, that whoever believes in him, not work, but believe in him, shall have eternal life. And Ephesians 2, the Apostle Paul wrote, for by grace are we saved through faith, and that not of ourselves, it is the gift of God, not a result of works, so that no one may boast. So in other words, today, God is offering you a gift. Your whole life, he's offering you a gift every day. And he sends evangelists around like me, and my children are over there passing out tracts. But that's what we're doing. We're inviting people to take the free gift that's available to you. And the promise of God is when you believe, he stamps you as righteous. Not because you really are righteous, but because he imputes Jesus' righteousness to you and then pronounces you not guilty. And then you can go through life knowing that when Judgment Day comes, you can stand before God because of the free gift he's given you. And Christians sin just as much as anyone else, really. So you don't become perfect when you're a Christian, but you do have a new power of living a new way of life. So, so what I want to invite you to do, guys, is just consider this story: creation, the fall, rescue through Jesus, and restoration. Let me talk about the future, because that's. I mean, you mentioned the future, so you've heard this, but heaven, and heaven. Hey, sweetie. Okay, I'll be with you in a second. But the new heavens and new earth are coming, and so even science says that this universe isn't going to last forever. One day the sun will grow cold, the energy in the universe will run out, the usable energy. But God says He's going to make a new universe, and those who believe in this life will go on into the next and live forever without death, in relationship with one another and with God.
Is that like heaven?
Yeah, but heaven, when you think of heaven, the cartoonish version is we're playing harps in the clouds. That's not the biblical view. The Bible shows heaven as a new heavens and a new earth. So imagine this earth except come to life.
Yeah.
The colors are brighter. Have you? Do you know C.S. Lewis, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know how Aslan is like Jesus? He dies on that stone and then comes to life.
Yeah.
And at the end of that, the statues that have been, spells put on them because of the White Witch, which is like Satan, they come to life. And Narnia and the four, Peter, Edmund, Susan, and the other one, they are kings of Narnia. That's us.
Yeah.
So in other words, human beings are going back to the place where we originally had in the Garden of Eden. We're going back to what we should have been doing all along, caring for the environment, loving one another. That's the beautiful picture of the future. Now, it takes faith to believe that, but it's not a blind faith. It's not an outlandish faith. It's a faith based on evidence. For example, the resurrection of Jesus. If you look carefully at the evidence for Jesus' resurrection, historically, there's more reason to believe He did rise from the dead than that the apostles made it up or they were just hallucinating, things like that. So even non-Christian historians admit that the resurrection of Jesus is hard to deal with. And if you take the resurrection of Jesus plus all the fulfilled prophecies, plus the reality of God working in someone's life, like prisoners, we see prisoners out at Otago Correctional Facility coming to Christ and their lives getting changed. You see miracles happening. Even the universe itself is a miracle. Us breathing in oxygen. The fine-tuning argument for the existence of God, have you heard that? The earth is so fine-tuned. We're just the right distance from the sun.
Yeah, that's fair.
Where the moon, without the moon, we couldn't have life on earth. I mean, we're here. Us being here is all these, imagine a wall of dials being set just to the minutest possible segment. But it's not just one, it's hundreds of them, all finely tuned, and we're here.
I definitely agree that it's very finely tuned. That's why, and to me it's just like a different explanation, I guess, than you. And it's like just what I was saying, how I believe it, it's just random. It's just complete luck, but it's very, like I said at the start, it's very, very unlikely.
Very, very, very lucky.
Yeah, lucky,
So what takes more faith? Believing that an intelligent mind fine-tuned it, or that it was not just lucky, but like really, 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 I think it takes more faith to be an atheist than a theist. And in fact, a lot of professors who were atheists, probably 20, 30 years ago, atheism was on the rise in universities around the world. With what we're learning about the human body and biology, microbiology, and how a human cell works, it is a more complicated machine than anything we've ever come up with ourselves. And it reproduces itself. We've never built a computer that can reproduce itself or evolve into a higher state computer.
Yeah.
And we've been trying for many years to do things like that, artificial intelligence. So think about the evidence. Don't accept the majority opinion just because it's the majority.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, there is ample evidence that there's a God. And whether Christianity is true, maybe there's a God, maybe you become a theist, but that still doesn't get you to Christianity. But it gets you halfway there. Once you're a theist, then you can examine Islam,
Yeah, I feel like
deism.
the majority is religious, isn't it?
It is. Well, around the world,
majority
yeah.
of people in the world are have faith.
Even in New Zealand, I'd say a majority believes in God. They
Yeah,
don't go to church, but they believe in some.
Yeah, I think that's true as well. Yeah.
But it's the intersection of science and God where people stumble.
Yeah.
And from my vantage point, there doesn't have to be any conflict between science and belief in God or in Jesus as the Messiah.
Yeah, see, I'd say, like, I don't know about you, like, I don't not believe in God because that's what everyone does or anything. It's just like me and Ryan went to religious school right until year 13, like, this was a few years ago.
Yeah.
And the whole time, like, you learn about it, and it was Catholic school,
Yeah.
so it's Christianity, and you learn about it the whole time, and, like, you hear everything about it, and all the stuff that you said, like, I'm familiar with that stuff, and I'm still just like, no, it's not, doesn't work for me.
Well,
so, like,
there's a lot
the
of
conscious decision that's not what, I just don't believe it.
There's a lot of ritual in religion. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a relationship with the Creator through His Son. So I think it's so easy to get your eyes focused on a building or on religious ritual or candles or put that aside. This is God Himself, the Creator, who's likely to exist if you actually look at it, and His love for us, and His wanting to solve the sin problem, and doing that through His Son, so that we can come back like the prodigal son. You've probably heard that story. We're all like the prodigal son.
Yeah.
And God is welcoming us back
Yeah.
to His family.
Yeah.
He's just waiting. He's just looking. When are you going to come back? I've sent my son. I've sent you signs here and there throughout your life. When are you going to come back? I'm waiting for you. So that's the position you guys are in. And I hope you turn and run to God, because He will run to you. He loves you that much.
Yeah, it's definitely like a really interesting, and like you say, there's a lot of people who believe in it, and that can't be the case if it's just so disprovable,
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like,
I think that's fair.
The fact that like the
that's
majority of people believe in it shows that there must be a lot of factors that can
Many professors at this university are Christians.
yeah.
In
No,
fact,
I like-
in the law, many
I like
of them.
talking, I like having these conversations. Like, it's real interesting to hear what you have to say. I think I was here maybe a few months ago, and somebody, a chaplain or something came up and talked to us, and we had but he had a different perspective than you, and but it was just interesting to hear how people interpret the world.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
Interpretation is right. Worldview. We all have glasses, and it's hard to be objective. It's hard to go against how you've been raised or the grooves of thought you've been into. But we can be changed. We can move our belief system over time based on evidence. And that certainly happened in my life. I was I believed in spirituality, but not in Jesus or God or the Bible.
Yeah.
But now, I'm a pastor. I study the Bible every day. I think it's the most amazing book.
So how old were you when you went to the church?
Yeah, 20. It would be 22. So around
So
your
what a
guys'
year.
age.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's around that age where you kind of crystallize not what your parents believe,
Yeah.
not what your
I agree.
teachers told you, but really
Well, I think, like, for me and you, Ryan, like, well, like, my mum believes in something. Like, I don't believe in what my parents believe in.
Yeah.
And your parents are still religious, eh?
Yeah, my dad's goes to church every Sunday and stuff.
Yeah. So it's like, I think we've already done that. We've already thought about it ourselves. I have anyway.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm not just doing what my parents, like,
Yeah.
believe in or whatever. And, like, yeah, I'm sure, I don't know how to, like,
But
you can believe in whatever you want, like, and I think there's no
consequence for not believing the
or
right
like,
thing.
No, sorry, that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say, like, nothing's set in, like, you know, like, if, I don't know how to say this without, like, I'm still set, like, this is what I believe in right now, like, maybe I'll have an epiphany down the line and be like, oh, I've been wrong the
I
whole
hope
time.
you do.
yeah, and, like, I'm sure, and you can do that, I guess.
Maybe
but,
you'll
like,
be a pastor someday.
yeah, maybe. But, like, haven't ruled it out yet. Oh, I sort of have ruled it out, but no, yeah, I don't know. I was trying to mean,
You're
like,
young. I mean,
I was trying to-
you've got. Hey, if you live to the average lifespan, you've got 60 more years, right?
Yeah.
So
No, I was trying to, like, just mean
Yeah.
we're still all, like, human.
yeah,
We can still all be, like, friend, like two of our flatmates are really religious. Like, there's no like division or anything because of that.
yeah. Tolerance for one another.
Yeah,
and
like
respect.
people,
Yeah,
respect. Yeah, not necessarily tolerance, like respect, like
Yeah,
Respect is a
like you
better
say,
way.
like we are young. I feel as though at this stage there's no necessarily like right or wrong way to be thinking about like those sort of questions and whatnot, because like ultimately it all sort of pushes us in the same sort of like current like goal or target, you know? Like everybody's wanting to, you know, sort of build the same thing or like try and fix the same thing, sort of thing, you know, like for the most part. And because of that, there's no like you say, no like loss of respect or anything like that for anybody else's opinions or beliefs. So I feel as though, yeah, like myself, like my grandparents are religious, and so are quite a few of my mates, and like I've gone to like church with them and stuff like that, just, you know, like sort of see what it's about. And like I say, it's not something that I rule out, but for me right now, it's something that I haven't really gone like in depth into, and I'm pretty happy with like my current beliefs, you know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm 20.
Yeah.
Might be a past.
you got 2 years.
But I mean, there's
Ask me again in 2
a
years.
couple of facts are we don't know how long we have,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
and according to the Bible, there is a judgment. You know, so if you put it off, you're just you know, it's like economics,
Yeah.
kind of. If you put it off, you increase the danger if it's true.
But isn't there? I thought, what about purgatory? Then you
That's
go
a
to-
Catholic belief, but not a biblical teaching.
Okay.
So Protestants would say, I'm come from the Protestant
Yeah.
evangelical, I'm Caversham Community Church.
Yeah.
So, yeah, biblically, there's no teaching on
That's just
purgatory.
that.
That
Yeah.
developed over in the Catholic Church. So
Yeah.
I would be I wouldn't count on that.
I'm not counting on
Yeah.
it, like, but yeah.
Yeah. So it is by faith alone, and that's important. It's because otherwise, Muslims work really hard to go to heaven. They do, keep the 5 pillars of Islam.
Yeah.
In Buddhism, there's the Eightfold Path. In Christianity, there's only one thing, and it's nothing we do. We do it, but it's nothing. It's not an activity like feeding the poor or
Yeah.
giving tithe or something. It's believing on something that's already happened 2,000 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it. It's a free gift. Sweet?
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
It was
Thank
really
you.
good to talk
Thank
to you.
Yeah.